Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and I am live from Freeport, the Bahamas. I'm here on a retreat. I am teaching with the esteemed Robert Brown, medium from England, and we've got about 40 or some odd people here with our group, and we are teaching mediumship this morning. I taught a class on tarot. I will be teaching a Merkaba class tomorrow, and then I think on Thursday I have another class to teach about techniques in reading delivery. So it's a whole group of mediums. It's a beautiful resort. If you can look outside, this is what I'm waking up to here, everybody. That being said, it is also the storm season, so if I lose you, I have lost power, and I probably won't get it back for, 20 to 30 minutes, and that's just kind of island life. That's called Bahamian time, and you just live with it. So guess what, everybody? I actually do this weekly call, and I made a mistake. I actually processed it under a different format. So it didn't allow me to upload it and send it out. Then my email thought it was spam and it wouldn't send it. So okay, so here we go. So now you get an insight of what everybody that signed up for the weekly call for gets to see. We go through the astrology, we go through the tarot of the week, and then we talk about a topic. So this week we're going to talk about the imposter syndrome, and it's a great topic because here I am with mediums from literally around the world that still have this challenge, that are working mediums that work out of, everywhere from North Carolina, from England, from Germany, from California, from Canada. They're from literally all over the world. Florida is well represented here too, but it what's interesting is how similar everybody's path is. And one of the topics that came up was, how do you overcome the fear of like losing your gift? You want to control it, you want to be able to deliver it. And am I talking to just the mediums? No, I'm actually talking to everybody, because your gift is developed within your means, right? Spirit will give you stuff as you are meant to receive it. And then we use tools. We use things like astrology. We use things like tarot, tools of divinity. And they can be a bridge gap. They just can't be the fallback. And sometimes a worthiness part of it, and I'll talk about it here in a second, and why I chose during this time to talk about it is for two reasons. First of all, we are headed into Cancerian time, right? Right, it's Cancer season. We've got the summer eclipse here, where it's summer eclipse, the summer solstice. Apparently, I've had a little bit too much of the Goombay juice. You know what I'm saying here? So, anyways, I'm only kidding, guys. Spirit and spirits don't go together, but if nobody's looking. Anyways, so we're headed into the summer solstice, right? The longest day of the year. And by the way, interesting thing about the Bahamas, it actually gets darker earlier here because we're actually in the middle of the Atlantic, or something like 60, 70 nautical miles outside of, say, Miami. And so we're further out in the ocean. We're further into the ocean, which means that the sun comes up sooner. Hey, did I show you this big window where the sun comes up? I've been up since the crack of ass, everybody. Anyways, so that being said, it's still a beautiful setting. Humid as all get out. Storms every night. We had a beautiful lightning storm last night, and it set the tone for me to talk about the tower today and how the lightning really kind of purifies. And oh, by the way, it helps you. It helps you do everything. Hey, Andrea, how are you? Please attend. Anyways, so here we are. A couple of things that we talk about every week in this coaching call is the tarot of the time. Now, as we're going into Cancerian energy, by the way, if you were in my class earlier today, you would have heard me talk about the chariot. So the chariot is connected to Cancerian energy through all of Cancer. It also means fast moving. And at first you're kind of like, I've known a few Cancers that don't really move a whole lot of fast. But what they are is they are quick when it comes to defending what it is they need. So the chariot actually delivers things in a quick motion of things you want to defend. Think mama bear. By the way, Cancerians are known for their homebound preference. They're known for their ability to be able to take care of things. So when mama bear comes out, she's quick to act. There's also a ton of symbolism here within the chariot. You've got the star in his head. You've got the duality of the different colored horses. You have Judaism represented, and you also have um, you also have the ability to see that when things start moving, sometimes you manifest it. All of those things are actually part of the chariot, right? Now, the other card is actually the timing card of what's going on right now. Welcome to As the Calendar Flips. Now, technically, this isn't until the 20th as the solstice happens, so it's in a few days, but it's happening this week, and it is the Two of Cups. It's one of the soulmate cards, everybody. And look at that lion overlooking it, like it's in like, I'm gonna make sure everybody gets the even amount. It is a lot of give and take, and the cups are actually about love, creativity, and connection. And this is a very important card too to your career. Do you do what you love? Well, astrology is here to help this week because when you take a look at the Two of Cups, yes, it could mean, hey, we have equal give and take, we have an intellectual equal, we have someone that is connected, that they aren't just about love, they're about the connection. I'm sorry, I'm moving myself here. But it allows you to find that connection in this world, in this life, right? So the other thing, the underlying thing with the Two of Cups is also recognizing your personal balance, heart and head. That is why it's one of the soulmate cups, because, or one of the soulmate cards, is because it's not just about the physical. It's just not about the security. It's actually about everything. It's actually about enjoying things. So those are your two cards for this week. I hope you keep, staying tuned and joining us because we talk about this all the time. By the way, if you like what you're watching right now, this is a weekly update. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. We capture everything at all in one place, and it's a quick set for you every single week. And by the way, there is homework. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, the astrology for this week is kind of fun because you have the summer solstice coming up, but what's happening in the sky is you have a conjunct, and we're actually going to go stellium conjunct here in the 10th house, which means there are going to be 4 aspects. This one happens to be in the 10th house. Whew. We've got Mars, we've got Venus, we've got Lilith, and we've got the moon. Guess what? If you don't love what you do, you're gonna rip it apart this week. If it's not serving your healing and your highest good, no can do, brother. We've got some interesting squares and trines going on, but the one that really kind of excites me the most, and by the way, hold on, in this sextile energy, means that you might be a little prone to fight. So at work this week in particular, because there's so much 10th house action, you're going to speak your voice. If you feel like you have been underrated, undervalued, underappreciated, guess what? This is a great week for you, especially with the summer solstice, especially with being able to speak your mind. It's a gentle thing because you have Venus backing up Mars. And even though there's that sextile energy, and don't forget, sextile energy is actually a really kind of gentle, it's kind of like calling for backup. It's kind of like, I see a problem over here and I don't know if I can say anything. Then Mercury shows up and says, oh, yes, you can. Now, do you see why we're about to talk about the imposter syndrome? It actually speaks directly to your value as well as your perception of your value. It's actually a beautiful thing. And remember how astrology kind of helps you with the weather of the day? Well, say no more. Because as we start to talk about the imposter syndrome, one of the challenges, and I am blown away by the talents that I have seen here, blown away. I have met and worked with dozens of mediums. And by the way, that doesn't replace all the great mediums I've met. I'm just meeting more great mediums. It blows me away that everyone around the world actually has intrinsic challenges at different points of their development, and people from around the world literally see things in similar diatribes, in similar messages, and similar symbolisms. My mind is blown because the more that I work outside of my parochialness, my local, my whatever, I see the same consistent things. And that makes me a more effective messenger as well as teacher. And one of the conversations that has broken out for me here was someone who, without a doubt, they just have it. Like you see them, you hear them speak, they have it. And the challenge that they were having was not only finding the platform, but then also trusting the people that she would communicate to. Well, today, she got rave reviews. She delivered to not just one, but 3 people at a time, which is not an easy thing. And the challenge that she had coming into all of this is whether or not she was worthy to carry a message, whether or not she could find the right words, whether or not she was the one to be able to bring that forward. Now, in the archetype of the imposter syndrome, you can't help but bring up, say, Mary Mother. Again, let's just say within tradition, right? Within that, remember the archetype in the conversation of Mary Mother. She was like, you want me to do that? You want me to carry the son of blah, 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 whatever, insert whatever story you've been told. But the key here is the relativity of saying your worthiness. When spirit picks you, I'm going to get canceled. Anyways, when spirit picks you, there is purpose. Spirit will not give you anything you can't handle. I have literally watched somebody grow in a matter of 3 days when she wrapped her head around the idea that she was worthy. Furthermore, when we talk about the imposter syndrome, we think that it's our fault. And yes, we have to have a high emotional IQ, but sometimes you have to have reckless abandon that your mission is greater than your pain that brought you there. It's also something that when you nail a delivery, you just see an incredible shift in your energy. You see, I physically watched it. I looked across the room and I saw it, right? By the way, I've also seen great mediums that have such a unique style and conversations that, when a bunch of mediums get into the room, which, by the way, my message circle was literally all of these mediums. I was delivering messages to all these mediums. No pressure, everybody. Are you okay? Are you better than average? You might get through it. I kind of went through it. I'm like, I'm the guy that has to read all these. Like, these guys know the difference. And I'm not saying that, I search for fools to read. I'm just saying that I was standing in front of people that I knew were working their craft. That made me better. So every single time you're faced with the imposter syndrome and you think you're not worthy or you think you're not the person, recognize that that is spirit calling you to do the work. Spirit's giving you the opportunity to show them your chops. Spirit is showing you, yes, you can. Listen, if you guys enjoy this call, if you enjoy this thing, we actually do a weekly coaching call. I record it on Mondays at about noon, but if you miss it, you actually get the recording and get all the information. There's a little interaction, but it's primarily just talking about a topic and giving you a homework. Oh, what's the homework? The homework is to take your path and to write down 3 things that you're doing well and 3 things you want to accomplish. Why do you do this? Well, we've got the summer solstice coming up. It's high noon, everybody, and if you can't make it to Stonehenge, do a little homework on it. Go ahead and jot down the things that you want to actually work with that will make you better in your role. And by the way, it's not just for mediums, it's anyone that is working with their intuition, with their day-to-day life. So here's a recap, everybody. 2 of Cups and the Chariot is your card of the week. The astrology, we've got a strong, strong pull here in the 10th house with Venus and Mars combined with Lilith, with the trine or the sextile rather of Mercury into Mars, which will have us speak our voice and figure out who's coming with me. It's kind of a Jerry Maguire placement, to be honest with you. So go in on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day you go back to work and hold up your goldfish and say, who's coming with me? Because it's kind of that energy, right? And then the imposter syndrome. By the way, the way to overcome the imposter syndrome is actually take stock in who you are and how you can improve on a regular basis. Look for challenges. I did. I had to get a passport, take 17,000 flights, and land in a foreign country that, by the way, has spotty Wi-Fi and running water. What I'm saying is I've made it. Anyways, the dynamic that I'm just going to say here, guys, is that you are worthy in all of this. I really appreciate you guys. I want to give a quick shout out. Hey, Gracilia, thank you so much. Marnie, glad you caught it. Elizabeth, I have some news. I may be in your backyard here before the end of the year. Nick, Andrea, thank you so much. And by the way, I had some of the best chicken salad in my entire life. And I don't superlative often, everybody. The best chicken salad I have ever had. The best. Thank you. And Adrian, thank you so much for tuning in here, guys. I'll be doing longer videos, and you know what? Maybe I've got a little space in between, and maybe I'll do a little bit more on the talks, start to be a little interactive and that sort of thing. I'm back in the studio next week. I do have a full schedule. You can always book me though. But I really encourage you to take, if you like what you just saw here and you need a weekly boost to your journey, it's $44 a month, guys. It's not a whole lot, but it gets delivered to your mailbox, your inbox, not your mailbox. Did I really just put a stamp on this? Anyways, I'm glad you guys are laughing. I'm not. I'm so punch drunk. I feel like I moved like through. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you see this or not, but the clouds literally just rolled in, and it's going to be Armageddon. It was bright. It was so the lightning last night lit up the room. It was amazing. And then I also figured out. It's funny, when you like show up someplace, you're like, huh, that's weird. Every time I took my phone into the bathroom, I would lose the Wi-Fi, and I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. I guess it's a dead spot. And then I saw this storm come in. And by the way, the storms that are going on in Florida and east of Florida right now is actually the precursor of the hurricane season. Those clouds and those energy systems are moving out. They will reach the coast of Africa and they will come back as hurricanes. So I have seen the birth of hurricanes here in this. It's made Mother Nature is right up there, never disappoints, right? But then I put two and two together and realized that my bathroom is a fallout shelter. Anyways, hope I make it back, everybody. But in the meantime, like and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And you won't be disappointed. It's a great way. Hi, Mimi, how are you? It's a great way to be connected to a community. We have great conversations. And then from there, I also offer further one-on-one coaching in whatever package it is that you need. But sign up for the weekly call. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and you can keep your head in the game. Last but not least, remember the three things that you could do better on your spiritual path and make a plan for each one of them because you are worthy. All right, guys, heart taps going out to you from down here in the Bahamas. Yes, I know, such a tough life, but on the flip side of that, I'm doing the work and living the dream, guys. All right, guys, heart taps out to everybody. And remember, keep going.